There's things like it's therapeutic, but it also really helps us to absorb and understand the information a lot more than just sitting down and nodding. Hi there. So if you have been watching some of my videos, you will know that I've been talking quite a bit about some of the top mistakes that GCSE students make that hinder them from reaching their potential. And this includes higher level students. And so today I'm going to be talking about another one of those mistakes. So one of the things that can happen a lot of the time is that, whether in classes or in a tutoring sessions, students can look and nod at what you're doing, at the calculations, but without actively participating and actively engaging in that independent work. So they're not writing things down, they're just kind of nodding as they go along. They're not writing things down, they're not trying to take things in, they're just nodding as they go along. Or even in today's day of technology, research tells us that writing is super powerful. There's things like it's therapeutic, but it also really helps us to absorb and understand the information a lot more than just typing things out or than just sitting down and nodding. So writing really helps us to process things a lot better than just reading, watching, or listening. So I myself, when I am trying to make notes or I'm trying to learn something new, I just always find that getting a fresh piece of paper, getting a book and writing in my book, rather than even taking the computer out, taking the laptop out, it just helps me so much more. It just makes things flow better. It just helps me to understand more what I'm doing. And I do find that I remember more. So that old-fashioned writing is very, very important. And maths is an application-based subject. Maths is based on practice. So if you are passively listening and just nodding your head, you won't understand at all. But if you're writing things down, you're going to be able to identify, you're going to understand better, and you're also going to be able to identify mistakes. So when your teacher says that 2 plus 3 is 4, as you're writing things down, the brain is going to pick it up and say, well, hang on a minute, 2 plus 3 is not 4, right? Your brain is now actively participating. And you're going to raise your hand up and you're going to say to your teacher, to your tutor, oh, miss, I think that's wrong because blah, blah, blah. And can you see how that really makes you stand out? So the difference between just sitting down and nodding and just thinking, yeah, I got it, and actually taking your time to write things out, it makes you stand out. You're engaging in the learning. And if you stand out in class, then guess what? You're going to stand out on exam day. You're going to stand out in your exams and achieve those high grades because you're showing that you're understanding right from the start. So when students skip writing out steps, it really increases the likelihood of errors. Without clear workings, it's also very difficult for examiners to award full marks. So, when I work with my science students as well, we always say to them, you've got to write your workings out, because even if you've done the calculations correctly, but your answer is incorrect, then you wouldn't get any marks. But if it's a 3-mark question, you're writing your answers out, then even if your answer is wrong, but because you're showing your workings, you're going to pick up at least 1 or 2 marks. And again, that step in that writing helps you to process the information and say, oh, what am I doing here? Does it make sense? It's, does 1 spot plus another 1 spot equal 2, or does it equal 5? So that's really, really important. And you can imagine just how many missed opportunities for marks students have lost because they simply don't want to write something down. So what we really encourage our students to do is they need to pick up the pen, they need to write things down, and they need to start doing the calculations. And over time, those benefits will really start to be seen. Very, very important for maths students. All right, so that's another video on the top 5 mistakes that GCSE maths students make that hinder them from reaching there. There are 4 other mistakes that you're going to want to know about so that you don't make the same mistakes. If you're a parent, that you're going to want to know about for your child. So what I've done is I've created a free course called Top 5 Mistakes That GCSE Students Make for your child. You can access that in the description down below. All right, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.